they can develop their skills and learn. So, Mr. Cofield, on behalf of myself and my family, I am deeply grateful for all that you've done to support Whittier.
Well, as Ms. Williams said, my name's Charles Cofield, and I am a resident of the communities here that serve Boston and the people in it. And boy, there's just so much that I could talk about. I know that time is limited, but to be honored here today is truly a blessing for me, not only because you're recognizing the work that's being done, but to be on the same program with people such as Michael Curry, and to be recognized by Frederica Williams here in a building that I overseen the building of is very special to me. So I actually represent over 30,000 members in the Carpenters Union, and this topic of mental health is very important to us because we have so many folks that are going without being recognized for needing the help that's available to people. That the focus on this is long overdue. So the work that's been done here in this building with people that were in this building that really did not have Ms. Williams' best interests at heart really touched my heart to know who she was, and as far as I'm concerned, she's the owner of the building. So this is her building, as far as I'm concerned. So the people that own it need to understand that this is Frederica Williams' building and the community that she serves. But the challenges that we ran into in this building could have only been taken care of in the manner that it was taken care of by a group effort. So there were a bunch of people that were really committed to making sure that this building opened on time and the work was done correctly. And the day that we turned this building over as a construction team, I get a call the following day telling me to go back to Whittier Street. It kind of blew my mind. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? They said that there was a testing of the standpipe in the back corner. Over in this back corner, I remember very clearly where it was. The fire department was out there testing that pipe, and the pipe burst from the 5th floor down. They didn't realize that there was a leak until someone looked up and seen 6 inches of water against the windows on all the floors. So there was a lot of water that was lost, and I mean, water pouring down the stairways like a waterfall. It was unbelievable. So we got in here, and Frederica Williams was determined to make sure that we established that deadline that we had to meet, and we worked around the clock to do it. All the way down to hanging every picture in this building. And it was a blessing to be able to serve in that capacity, not only for Frederica, but for the community that needs this building to be in the shape that it's in today. This is a very historical building, not only because it's here in Roxbury, but she has black doctors here, people of color, serving at all levels in this building, and that's important stuff for everybody to see, especially our young people. So I do appreciate the honor, and you know, a lot of people ask me, I've been in the Carpenters Union for 33 years, And a lot of people ask me, how come I'm not retired yet? Because the work is not done. You know? And until we're sure that we have people that are in place that have the same passion that we have for serving our people and making sure that access to opportunity in this city is open and available to everybody, then I'm gonna continue to work. So the work that I'm doing with the Carpenters Union today is work that I've been doing for years, and now they're paying me to do it full time. I love it. So they put me in this position in January as community outreach coordinator in recruiting and evaluating our present membership so we don't lose the people that we're bringing in, making sure that people are actually upgrading their skills and making sure that when you go out on these job sites here in the city that you have the skill level to sustain the position that you were hired for, and not get out there and underperform and give these folks more ammunition on why they're not using us. Because they, believe me, they're writing a book, folks are writing a book on why they don't want to use the folks from the community. So I use every method that I can possibly use to get people employed in this city, even down to holding some of the community development corporations and neighborhood corporations to their mission statements to the community. They're making these statements in their mission statement talking about they're providing access to opportunity for our folks, but they're bringing contractors in from outside the city that have no history of meeting Boston hiring goals. So I have to bring that up because the other position that I hold here in the city is a commissioner for the Boston Employment Commission, and we oversee all the jobs 50,000 square foot and above to make sure that the Boston residency hiring goals are met. They're not being met the way they're supposed to be met. So we need the assistance from everyone in this room and others to make sure that we're bringing the right people to the table, going out on these job sites and representing properly. We can't do it by ourselves, but we need people that have the desire, the honest desire, to go out and work hard every day, not set your own hours. You got to work the hours that they lay out for you. You can't come in and work 3-4 days a week and think you can take a day off every week or leave early every day. You got to go in there and get at least 40 hours a week plus. There's billions of dollars coming out of this city, and we're not getting our fair share of it. So we're the only ones that can change that. So we've got to come to the table correct. Don't come to the table with a whole bunch of garbage and a bunch of excuses why we can't do this. We can do this, but we have to do this together. There's strength in numbers. So I want to thank you again. I want to recognize I have the support of my family here and many friends in the room. I do thank you for all your support throughout the years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles, for reminding us. One of the things that I forgot to mention is, to his point of ensuring that when construction and developments are happening in Boston, we turned around and hired Lonnie Daniels. Charles, remember Lonnie Daniels as our diversity consultant? We turned around and told the construction company, you have to pay for it to make sure we have a diversity consultant, because what we didn't want to hear is that we can't find the Boston residents and we can't find the minority. So the Whittier Street building exceeded all of the expectations because we put that together. Our next honoree is Reverend Dufort Florissant. Reverend Florissant is a vocal advocate for Haitian Americans in Boston. You know that the Haitians are the third largest immigrant community in the US and beyond. And he's also an advocate for the protection of TPS, temporary protective status for immigrants. As many of you know, many Haitian Americans are at risk for deportation due to the potential repeal of TPS. And so we need people like Reverend Florissant to advocate for a community many times that doesn't have a face and a voice, especially under the current situation that we have. We see here a lot of our immigrant patients who are not accessing care. They could have stage 4 terminal cancer or off-the-chart blood sugar. They are afraid. And what we've done is created the safe haven where we are not the INS. We are your health champion, and we've opened the door. And that's the partnership we have with everyone to make sure that people, whatever the issues are, we provide care to you regardless of your ability to pay for services and regardless of your status. So he's very helpful in holding us to that commitment that we have. In addition to serving as a vocal advocate for his community, he's the executive pastor at Mattapan's Voice of the Tabernacle Church, serving the Haitian community. He also serves as the chair of the board of directors for the Haitian Americans United, and he's the executive director of the True Alliance Center. The man is busy. Please join me in welcoming the Reverend Florissant.
Wow. Thank you so very much, Frederica. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ allowing me to be here this morning. As I was reading this morning from the New Testament passage of Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, it says, never get tired to do what is right. Because if you don't give up, you will reap all the benefits. And that's what I can see happening for me when doing the work of the Lord. And there's another passage that I love so much, James 4:17, that says, whoever can do the right thing, able to do the right thing, and does not do the right thing, to him it's a sin. So we look at that sin other ways, but it's a sin when you can do the right thing, able to do the right thing, and do not do the right thing. And I want to thank Bob for putting me up to this spot, because when he called me on Thursday, he said, you are receiving an award. We are looking for you. And I said, truly, I was here on May the 2nd, and I want to thank the CEO, the staff, and everyone working here, and Bob for celebrating the second Haitian Heritage Month here. I was here on May 2nd to celebrate with the center, recognizing the tremendous contributions of all the Haitians here, but also Haitians in Boston. So thank you so much, Bob, for putting me up to this situation. And I also want to thank all of you and want to congratulate all the awardees that are doing so much great work in the city of Boston. I want to thank my son who is here with me, Mike, and I want also to say I wanted to bring more young people just to come, but this Saturday had so much to do, but I bring one of the leader of our youth group, Mando, who is here with me in Mattapan. We're doing some great work in Malta Street. This area used to be a crime area, but since we have our church right there, but we've seen changes happening. God is always in the business of changing and restoring things around you. And I want you to stand with all the communities, because with your help, we can definitely make great things in Boston. I'm putting a picture to you for our TPS recipients. There are more than 457,000 families on TPS, representing 13 countries, who are facing dire situation now in Massachusetts. They can't even renew their licenses due to the implementation of the Real ID, because they don't have a 1-year immigration status. They haven't that. We have a proposed bill at the state legislature to change that, to issue a license for 5 years, because right now they only have a temporary license. I want you to support that Work and Family Mobility Act at the State House to help the families staying together, working together, and all these people are working so hard, 2 to 3 jobs, as you can understand, and the 50,000 Haitians are taken care of. The number? 500,000 families in Haiti. So understand, they cannot go back to Haiti. So they need to remain here to take care of 27,500 US-born children only for Haitians. It goes to 275,000 US-born children for the 450,000 families that are on TPS. And that's what that I am every day eager to go to Washington, to the State House, to making sure that they get what we call permanent residency versus temporary residency, because they contribute so much to all the fabric of this country. Thank you so much for having me. May God bless you.
Wow, thank you for your passion. And yes, we will support you because it's something that's critical to us. Thank you. Our next honoree is Alex Garcia. He's the Marketing and Program Director of the Adult Day Health Care Village of Joy. I've met the participants in the Adult Daycare of Joy. They are filled with joy. The Adult Daycare of Love Joy serves as a safe, comfortable, and caring environment for adults and elderly. It is so critical. So many of our seniors are getting social isolation has a major impact on your health. They understand that our seniors struggle with real and difficult health challenges on a daily basis. Alex and his colleagues have implemented programs to improve the quality of life for their seniors through a variety of medical, therapeutic, and social services. He takes pride in empowering our seniors and supporting them with services in support of their independence and overall health and well-being. In addition, he spent the vast majority of his career in the media communications industry as a journalist and became a TV host in 2012, where he uses his voice to empower our community. He's been hosting a program on Boston LDR since 2012. Through this program, Alex aims to provide resources, tools, and information that positively impacts the Latino community in Boston. I am pleased and honored to present Alex with this award as a men's health champion, as an advocate for Latino and Hispanic seniors. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, God. For me, it's most important in my life. Thank you, Federica. Thank you, Mr. Rowell. Thank you so much. Thank you, my family, especially my friend, Miss Malta and Mr. Taka. Thank you for staying here today, Saturday. Every day, I have different ideas in my life. But before, I'm working in the Dominican Consul for 8 years. Later, I moved as a journalist in the Univision. This is a small bit station in the United States for Hispanic community. Now, I'm director of the program for the senior. But when I begin in the project, I say, I don't know who is the program for the senior. And my friend say, your wife, Paola, she know, working together. Thank you, my wife, for staying with me every day of my life. Thank you for my friend, for my daughter Marcela and Ray, for working with me in this project. I have different passion. First, I talk about the diplomatic. Second, in the communication now, is the senior, because the senior need passion, communication, and love. In this time, every day, every time, I think in my community, especially in the senior, they have different problems, different issues. I say, I need different solution. When I need something, I call to Mr. Bob, I call to the mayor, I call to the representative, Ayanna Presley, everybody I know, everybody go to the channel, I say, I need problem, I need different signal the problem in our community. Not only the Hispanic, all community, every community in the city. But in the future, everybody is a senior. Everybody need communication, love, and comprehension. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. All of us as a senior, that's why we need strong senior programs. Thank you, Alex. Our final honoree, last but definitely not least, is Reverend Emmanuel Hutchison. He's the Executive Director of Future Hope Apprenticeship and Recovery Program and an entrepreneur. He's a native from upstate Buffalo, New York. He relocated to Boston in 1978 and began his work in the field of human services as a youth programmer and counselor. While studying in the field of substance abuse, alcoholism, and addiction counseling at UMass, he is the Executive Director of Prison Prevention Ministry and the founder of Future Hope Apprenticeship and Recovery Program, Inc., and DYS Mentor Program. One of the things that we did, I started off by mentioning that as much as we focus on mental health, diabetes, and health issues, we also focus on population issues. And in 2003, we launched our prison reentry program, which Haywood Finnell was very helpful in helping me to launch, because we wanted to address the recidivism rate in our community, because that has an impact in our health. And people like Reverend Hutchison have been a solid supporter in ensuring that our Prison to Life program is solid and has been sustained, and we're doing good work. So thank you for that. In his work, he strives for reconciliation between returning citizens and society by integrating health and wellness, recovery, mentoring, and spirituality with economic development. Over the years, he has developed programs all through Boston for men, women, and at-risk youth. These programs include state-certified and accredited apprenticeship programs in construction and the trades. Are you talking to Brother Charles so he can get them in the, okay. Yes, you guys, okay, you guys will. After this, I'll make sure, I'll do the connection. And the trades, because we need to get them in the apprenticeship programs in construction and the trades, designed to help youth offenders and ex-offenders reintegrate into society. He's committed to building our community and family leaders by replacing fear and doubt with hope. And that is the shared mission that we have. We are dedicated to replacing that fear and that worthlessness that society sometimes make us feel with hope and empowerment. And so Reverend Hutchison, on behalf of all of our patients, all the communities, and all the people that you've been serving, 1978 to now, that's 41 years. Thank you for all you've done for our community.
Thank you. I'm very humble and honored myself. No, it might not sound real when you hear the term reverend or pastor or preacher. You know, everybody think that that's what they do, but real preacher tell you when you get behind this mic or podium, he really get fearful for whatever reason. But I'm really grateful for this opportunity, I think. Frederica, Bob Edwards, and the Whittier Street Health Center, who was willing to collaborate with me and also to embrace the vision that I always say that God has given me. It's a scripture that I would like to mention because my brother, he don't set the tone for me, really. But it's in Philippians 1:6 that shares that, for him who have started the good work in you will continue until Jesus Christ returns. Amen. So each and every one of you in here has been given a good work that God has started in you. And it's up to you to continue with who has already started. And that is a scripture that always reminds me in during those moments when it just seemed like ain't nothing happening. It just seemed like the odds is against you. I'm passionate in what I do. I've been doing it for years, not because of funding, grant, and if the truth be told, there's no funding that even come to us. You know, nothing at all. I do it from the heart, from the passion, and realistically, I'm a tradesman. I'm a roofer by trade. Worked in the Union Workers 33, which is the Roofers Union. Also, I worked as a journeyman in the Painters Union, you know. And so, you know, I sat back and, you know, said, you know what, I got skill sets that I believe I could evolve into something better than just me going to work. And I looked at the disparity, the challenges, me being a black man myself in the community, also understanding the challenges and the dynamics of those who are incarcerated and coming back into our communities. So something needs to be said realistically because there was too many coming back home and it appeared to be that nothing was there for them. And it was, what can I do? You know, there's nothing there. So naturally, you know, you're going to reflect back to whatever you think you got to do what you got to do to survive, you know, whatever that might have been, you know. So I felt led at that, knowing that if a man or even a young man or youth had a skill, a trade, he will always be employable. He'll always be able to get a job, you know, always, you know. And so today I would say that the Lord envisioned me with that. And I always wanted to be a contributor to give, and how can I support and help? And so that's when I sat back and developed the Future Hope Apprenticeship Program. And I put it together, and I called downtown to the Labor Department. I don't know if you know John Rich. He was the commissioner over the apprenticeship. So I was calling, just said, you know, hey, this is Reverend Hutchinson, you know. To me, I'm saying, well, I got a grand idea, you know. So I want somebody to hear me, you know. So I called, I did my homework and who I could connect with. And so when I called and spoke to him and briefly, you know, explained to him what I was doing, and I developed this apprenticeship program, I'd like to see if I could get it state approved. It's primarily for African-American men, those who are transitioning, coming back into the community, and for our youth who are in detention centers, you know. So he was like, you know, was impressed. He said, matter of fact, look at the schedule, come down and meet with me, you know. I said, oh, okay, good. So I prepared to go down there and meet with him maybe a week or so. I'm thinking I'm going into the office and sit down and just talk to a gentleman, you know. I get down there, I had an audience, you know. So I got scared fright again, you know. You know, I was not expecting that. But then I just looked at what I felt was needed and needed to be said. And I shared about the program and elaborated on it, explained, and they applauded. You know, within a week or two, I received a certificate saying that congratulations, Future Hope Apprenticeship is identified as a statewide apprenticeship program in Massachusetts, you know. So, and that was officially done in 2005, and we're still up and running. We have now involved into the community of addiction. We are a certified provider in recovery. We train people to become certified recovery coaches, which is a 30-hour training. We also, to even piggyback off what my brother was sharing, that we personally train individuals, not just the trade. We teach them in carpentry, painting, drywall, taping, and roofing. BMC comes and do the heart saving training. They get their OSHA as well. And we have also the recovery coach. So we assign a recovery coach with every candidate, whether they've been battling with addiction or not, but we do it primarily so that we make sure that every candidate that that have graduated, whoever we send to any potential employer, will know that they got a well-groomed individual, No, they're not coming as a carpenter, but they're coming as an excellent helper for a carpenter. We teach them how to do tape measure, read tape measure, understand the dimension. We even teach them a little bit of blueprint reading, So we give them a little more than what they would get if they went to an average union apprentice, because we know that they got little strikes and whatnot against them. But I usually do, I call myself the foot runner, I go in advance, establish a relationship with any particular employer. Also, I utilize my relationship that I have in the union. When I was in the union, I have had some of the union reps from District Council 35 come to the Boston pre-release, do a 2-hour presentation, also guaranteeing the men that if they come to them, they will waiver the initiation fee, because normally it's about $600 just to get in the union, and that's not guaranteeing a job, So just doing all that just to prepare the way for those who are, as they call, returning citizens. But these are young men and women who are coming back in our community. And I personally feel as though that we as a community need to embrace them, help them, deal with them, and I thank God for it, Ms. Frederica, because they do have an awesome program here. Whittier Street is not just a typical health center. It's not. So again, I am honored just to, be a recipient of this award. Was never expecting it. I just do the work, because it's a passion and love of mine. And also I look at it real quickly. I look at it from generations speaking, because I'm a grandfather of 11 grandchildren, that is, But I thank God for my family that's here as well, and my grandchildren, because to me, where I had my youngest granddaughter, she's about 1 year and 3 months. And I'm looking at the way society is today in our community, what it's going to be like when she, about 5 or 10 years from now. Then I got one that's 9, 10, what it's going to be like for 3 or 5 years for them in our community, So I look at how we as a community need to really come together and continue to work and do what we're doing so that we can strengthen our community for the future. Very important to me, because I get tired going behind them prison walls and seeing all these kids that's tied up, bound up. I'd be at the round table with different service agencies, some is there because it's a paycheck, some may be sincere, but then I question them. Because I go into these facilities and I told a few of them, if I was to blindfold you and take you to one of these prisons, whether it was the state, county, or the federal, and unblindfold you, when you look in the audience, you think I just walked you into an elementary or a middle school. And what I mean by that, that's how young they are, housed in these state prisons. They look like kids. They are kids. So we have a lot of work. True enough. But I believe if we continue to look at it from that perspective, we could really change the course of what's happening in our community. We could change the course. Again, I thank each and every one of you, and to God be the glory.
Oops. So thank you to all of our Men's Health Champion honorees. Let us give them a round of applause. Many people hear my name. We have so many wonderful staff. I have one of our physicians here. Come up front, Dr. Wright. He didn't know you were going to be called on the spot today. He thought he was going to be hiding. There are just so many people who make the vision real. Dr. Wright when our brothers working here. And they see Dr. Wright. He's an honoree. But what I wanted to do today is the Men's Health Clinic was launched just as I joined Whittier in 2004. And the prison program was launched in 2003. We've had several men's health, and one that I have a lot of respect for, he didn't know why I called him, is Bob Edwards. Bob, come on. I want to present Bob. With the citation from the city, because this is a reflection of the work that you do. From Mayor Walsh, it says, today, June 29, 2019, the Whittier Street Health Center will present the annual Men's Health Summit. And the Men's Health Summit has been a significant and life-saving event for the men and women of Boston's urban communities. And it is critical that the men and women of Boston's neighborhoods understand the importance of good mental, physical, and spiritual health. And Whittier Street Health Center is dedicated to providing primary care and health information to ensure healthy communities. Now, I, Martin J. Walsh, Mayor of the City of Boston, do hereby proclaim June 29, 2019 to be Men's Health Day in the City of Boston. So thank you, Bob, for your work, okay? And it is now my pleasure to introduce to you today our keynote speaker. Many of you know Michael Curry. I've already mentioned that he's the former president of the Boston NAACP, and he was re-elected to the National Board of Directors, serving his second term. He's a current Vice President and General Counsel of Government Affairs and Public Policy for the Mass League of Community Health Centers, which for us health center we consider our trade association. He's an advocate and a spokesperson for us, serving more than 50 health centers that are serving 1 million people.